Welcome to Ollie Campbell Park in Dublin for this Division 1B clash between Old Belvedere, the hosts, and Old Wesley, the visitors. Both these teams housed in Dublin 4. And it's a big game for both these sides. They both really need a win desperately. For Old Belvedere, they've lost 3 on the trot now, which includes 2 losses that were very tight against Highfield about 3 weeks ago, where they had an opportunity to win the game in the dying seconds. They couldn't convert, and then last week against St. Mary's away from home, a little bit similar. Had 2 opportunities to score a try right at the end of the game. They couldn't capitalise. Old Wesley have had a strong season. They have won 5 out of 6 games. They're second on the table. They're coming off a loss against Highfield last week, the table toppers. And they had an opportunity to win that game. Their set piece was very, very strong. But Highfield were able to capitalise, and they scored 14 points in the space of 5 minutes with a 20-7 victory. There's a big rivalry between both these sides. They are neighbours. And with me in the commentary box today is Kieran Noble. It's great to have you here again at Ollie Campbell Park.
I'm delighted to be here, Justin. And as you said, it's a massive game for both teams. Old Wesley will be looking to bounce back after the defeat against Highfield. And for Old Belvedere, well, they've had a really tough run the last few weeks, having big teams like Highfield here, and then they had I'm trying to think here. They had Highfield here, and then they away last week in the
against St. Mary's.
Against St. Mary's, and then they had Shannon away at the start of that period. So they're probably, I'd say, probably the 4 strongest teams in the division. So this run-in has been really difficult, and they really need a victory today.
And just going back to the Shannon game, that was the only game where Old Belvedere actually underperformed. Every single other game has been tight, and they could have gone either way. If you look at Wesley, they've actually managed to win those tight games and get the results. But if we just look at the rivalry between both these sides, in the last 5 occasions at AIL level, Wesley have won 2, Old Belvedere have won 1, and there's been 2 draws with an average score of 19 points to 17 in the favour of Old Wesley. Okay. And then the teams today, starting off with Old Belvedere, they are led by their inspirational captain, Connor Wendy. It's his 3rd game back after tearing his ankle ligament 7 weeks ago in round 1. Their loosehead prop is Jerry Carr, who had a phenomenal game last week, scoring a cracker of a try against St. Mary's. Their hooker is John McKee. He's got 3 tries this season, including 2 against Malone in round 3 and then round 5 against Highfield at this very ground. Ryan McMahon is the tight head prop. Watch out for the bulldozer. The number 5 is Dean Moore, very, very experienced, got a massive CV on him. Paddy Darling is the number 6. Tom Ryan is the number 8, who set up that wonderful try for Jerry Carr last week against St. Mary's. Fionn McWay is the open side flanker. The halfback combination is Aaron Atkinson and Justin Leonard, who has scored 42 points from the boot this season. The centre combination is Jack Gilheaney and David Butler. The back 3 is Jack Keating, Colin Hogan and Ariel Robles, who can be very devastating. We look at Old Wesley, their side today, and they're captained by Ian McGann, the number 5. It's his 3rd season as captain, and he made his AIL debut all the way back in 2009 when he played Trinity. Their front row is Cronin Gleeson, who scored a try against Highfield last week, their only try in that game, and he also played in the MLR last year for the San Diego Legion. Ben Burns is the hooker, and he scored 5 tries in the 2019-2020 season. He's still to get a try this season, but he can be very dynamic, and he's a key player for Old Wesley. Rob O'Donovan is the tight head prop. The lock combination is JJ O'D and Ian McGann. Will Fay replaces the unavailable Paul Durham today. Ruben Pym, ex-captain of Trinity, actually captained Trinity last year. Watch out for him, he's very ferocious at the back. The open side flanker is Josh Pym. half-back combination, the very exciting Ben Murphy, second game back. He's in the Leinster Academy, and many of you will remember that he played Irish under-20s in the 2019-2020 season. 3 caps that season against Wales, England and Scotland, and very unlucky earlier this season. He didn't make the Irish under-20. Well, he did make the Irish under-20, but he picked up an injury and couldn't play. Ian Cassidy is the number 10, 29 points this season, and he has taken over from Josh Miller, who got injured in round 3. Josh Miller is currently playing in J1s after recovering from that hamstring injury. The centre combination is Owen Deegan and Jack Costigan. Jack Costigan, an AIL 1A winner with Cork Con in 2018-2019. David Poff is the left winger, and then Thomas O'Callaghan, the right winger, will have wonderful memories on this field. He scored a try in the 79th minute 4 years ago to make the scores 15 all, and that was one of the draws in the past 5 occasions. There's been 2 draws. The fullback today is Connor Gaston. Old Wesley are coached by Morgan Lennon. Old Belvedere are coached by Ray Monaghan. This is a Dublin 4 clash. It's Donnybrook versus Paul's Bridge and Kieran. This is one of the games of the weekend.
Absolutely, but you spoke about earlier that Old Wesley can win those tight encounters, and the first game I covered this year was actually Old Wesley versus Shannon, and it was an Owen Deegan try in the last play of the game that snatched it for Wesley, and then they went on to win the first 5 games of the season. And for Old Belvedere, that back 3 they have is just so exciting, and if they can get the ball to those players like Colin Hogan, Ariel Robles, they can be very devastating, and that's exactly what Old Belvedere need to do.
If you just look at past results this season in Division 1B, Old Wesley, they beat Shannon 23 points to 22. That game was at home at Energia Park. They then beat St. Mary's, and that was a key victory in the season, 20 points to 18 away from home at Templeville Road. They then beat Navan 45 points to 7 at home. They then beat Nace away from home, which is not an easy thing to do, at 36 points to 20. They then beat Malone 16-11, and then that loss against Highfield, where they really did put on a display but just couldn't execute at the right times. Old Belvedere, it's been slightly different for them. They beat Nace in round 1, 16-13, lost to City of Amar, then beat Malone, then lost to Shannon, then lost to Highfield, and then lost to St. Mary's. Old Wesley coming onto the park, and they are led by their inspirational leader Ian McGann. Old Belvedere also on the park, led by Conor Wendy.
Old Wesley are without the brothers Harry and Howard Noonan. Harry was obviously part of that under-20s team in 2020 that could have won a Grand Slam only for COVID, so he's a big loss for them.
Also John McKee, Ryan McMahon from Old Belvedere, they'll be very good friends with Ben Murphy, all part of that Irish under-19 2020, Irish under 2020-19-2020 season.
Ben Murphy has been extremely unlucky with injuries pretty much his whole rugby career. Like when he was in the Junior Cup with Prez, he had a really bad injury that saw him out for a lot of that Junior Cup year, I think when he was in 3rd year, so he's been really unlucky, so he needs to just get games underneath his belt now and build a bit of form.
It will be Old Belvedere to kick off. The referee today is Stuart Douglas, and he was in Romania 2 weeks ago as an assistant referee for the Romania-Holland fixture, and educated at Queen's University in Belfast. It's going to be Justin Leonard to get us underway. Old Belvedere playing from left to right. Justin Leonard with a contestable, and it's gathered by Old Wesley. Ben Murphy is at the base. So look to pick and drive. Old Wesley is Murphy, looking to relieve some pressure. And Tom Ryan, who takes it well, the number 8. Aaron Atkinson to Ryan McMahon. Justin Leonard to Darling. 2 tries this season for the number 6. Atkinson looking back on the inside for Dean Moore, but he takes contact. And Old Wesley get the penalty. Impressive defence. Will Fay in combination with Ben Burns, who looks to be hurt.
That was a lovely penalty for Old Wesley. Old Belvedere tried to get the ball moving and get a bit of tempo into the game, but Old Wesley got in over the ball, and I think it was Josh Pym who got in over the ball there for Old Wesley, so good start for them.
So Ian Cassidy going for touch. 29 points this season, up towards the 22. And Old Wesley, while their set piece has been impressive this season, they did struggle a little bit last week against Highfield in the last 5 or 10 minutes.
The last game we covered, Justin, here was Old Belvedere versus Highfield, and maul tries. There was a lot of them, so I wonder will we see a lot of maul tries today.
Who knows what's on the cards. Very chilly day in Dublin.
Justin, you've obviously watched Old Belvedere a lot this season. How do you think their season has gone so far?
Well, I just think at times they have been pretty unlucky with a few of their results, which could have gone either way.
Ben Barnes went down there, but it looks like he's okay to play on.
So Burns to feed, and you'll have a reset.
I'm really excited to see how Wendy does today. He was excellent the last day against Highfield. First game back after injury.
Rob O'Donovan, the big tight head prop, and up goes JJOD, pops it to Murphy. Skip ball to Owen Deegan, the inside centre. Murphy, and lets it go to Josh Pym. It's quick ball, Yaz McCann, the captain, into the 22. Murphy flirting, pops it to Pym. Cassidy with the dummy to OD. He's tackled by Connor Wendy. Cassidy, and here's Gleason. He's got a lot of tricks, the loose head prop. Cassidy, Puff, skip ball. Jerry Carr is down in back play for Old Belvedere. And here's Pym now, the number 8. Old Wesley have players on the left. They've gotten over that, but they take contact. Cassidy. Costigan, this is good play, very good play. It's Gaston now, the fullback. Murphy, and hitting the line hard is Pym. Really positive player, O'Callaghan, Deegan, and Moore with the tackle. Here's Cassidy with a skip ball to Faye, the number 6. Murphy to Gleason, the loose head prop. Connor Wendy trying to hold him up. Murphy, Cassidy, Costigan, it surely must be a try here. Callahan, Ruben Pym, the big number 8 sin for Old Wesley. What a score.
Phases upon phases there. Brilliant. Oh, it looks like they're going to the touch judge. Are they checking something here, or? I was going to say it was phases upon phases there with no errors from Old Wesley. Ben Murphy really getting zip into the ball, working around the corners. Old Wesley were comfortable in possession, and some really good play from them.
Just awaiting confirmation, yeah. But what a score. That was Ruben Pym with his second try of the season. Scored a try in round 5 against Malone as well, the captain of Trinity last year, and he's had a big season. Try given.
The loose head prop Cronin Gleason was excellent in that passenger play. He was really throwing himself around. And in the second row, JJOD is a brilliant player.
So Ian Cassidy. Cassidy, and that's not his best kick. You'll be disappointed with that, but it's Old Wesley 5, Old Belvedere 0 after about 6 minutes here in Ollie Campbell Park.
An ideal start for Old Wesley, but this Old Belvedere team has lots of resilience, and they know they can work their way back into the game.
And it looks like Hugh Flood is coming onto the park for Jerry Carr. only 19 years of age. Positive start for Old Wesley. And Owen Deegan now the inside centre. 2 seasons at under 20 level for Old Wesley from Ross Gray, a former scrum off. O'Donovan with the carry that time. And Ben Murphy looking really composed at the back. It's going to be a tester here for Colin Hogan, and he can't gather. So anything can happen here. It's Old Wesley ball, and they got players on the left as they look to go wide. Here's JJOD, who lets it go to Faye, the number 6. He's a really tough customer, and David Butler knows that. Here's O'Donovan now. Big Rob over the advantage line. Murphy, Cassidy, it's beautiful to watch. It's Gleason now with the pop ball. Murphy working the short side. And Old Belvedere get a much needed penalty, really under pressure there, Kieran. Old Wesley looking dangerous with the ball in hand.
That's exactly what Old Belvedere needed, but Ben Murphy's came out and he's looking very good. That box kick was very contestable, caused Old Belvedere all sorts of problems, and Old Wesley obviously didn't like losing last week, and they've really came out today to prove a point.
Justin Leonard finds touch on the 10-metre line. And John McKee to feed Irish under-20s in 2018, 2019 and 2019, 2020. Also in the Leinster Academy. And up goes Moore. And they look to get the roving Moore going out. It's been one of their strengths. Here's McKee with a bit of a dummy, and he gets over the advantage line really well. Atkinson to McMahon, hitting the line at speed. The big tight head prop. Justin Leonard. Here's Ariel Robles. He can be very dangerous. Gets the offload to Colin Hogan. Hogan for the score. And he's out. But some promising player there, Kieran, from Old Belvedere. They can also be very devastating.
All started with John McKee. He's probably been their outstanding player this season so far. But it's a bit like Old Belvedere responding in impressive fashion there. Anything you can do, we can do better. So the only difference was they couldn't get the score, and Old Wesley did get the score.
Also good to see the tight end prop Ryan McMahon hitting the line at speed. A very good half break by John McKee. Line out time here for Old Wesley. McGann, the captain, delivers. He goes to ground. Cassidy, and that's a little bit of a shank into touch, but he was under pressure. So Old Belvedere, will they have a chance to strike? And this is where they've struggled a bit, Kieran. It's just the execution.
Consistency at the line-out is key, and at the set piece. So they need a good line-out here to give them a good platform in attack. Whether they go for the maul or the quick ball off the top, and they spread it to the back line. Great to see Ariel Robles playing today, though. He's a really dangerous player, and I really enjoy watching him.
Oh, Wendy, a little bit lucky there as they look to get the roving more going. John McKee is at the back. And edging closer here, peeling away is John McKee. And Old Belvedere, they're really close now. It's Tom Ryan. What will the call be? Connor O'Wendy. Another pick and go. John McKee looking for try number 4 in the season. And Old Belvedere, we come back for the penalty. And they've really got to execute now. They've got to take their chances. And what will the call be?
When you're in the red zone, you have to convert these chances and you have to put points on the board. Oh, Belvedere showed great resilience there though, not to let the heads drop. They just went straight back at it, stuck to the game plan, and now look where they are.
Yeah, cool. I'm going to try watch from here. So Justin Leonard, and he duty converts. So it is Old Wesley 5, Old Belvedere 3, 12 minutes gone at Ollie Campbell Park.
Probably the smart decision there from Old Belvedere, just get some early points on the board, and there's only 2 points in it. I have a feeling, Justin, that this could be another nail biter, just like their last 2 fixtures against Highfield and St Mary's.
Well, Old Wesley, Old Belvedere on the last 5 occasions, the average score has been 19 points to 17, and that's not a great kick at all. So we'll come back for the scrum to Old Belvedere. Only 2 points down, but they were really under pressure in the opening 5 or 6 minutes, Kieran. Weathered the storm a little bit.
Yeah, well, Old Wesley came with that high tempo, similar to the way Ireland played against the All Blacks and against Argentina in the autumn internationals. Yeah, but Conor Wendy there, those 3 points came from his nice catch at the line out. He didn't even have to go up in the air. He was just standing. And yeah, really good platform at the line out from Old Belvedere, from the likes of John McKee and Owendy.
It's an opportunity for Old Belvedere. Scrum on the halfway. A chance to make an impact. It'll be interesting to see how U-Flood goes on for Jerry Carr.
Hopefully there's no pre-engages this week.
That's the one thing with the modern game. And the only players who know what's going on is the front row.
Yeah, well, for people who don't know me, I'm only about 5'4" and I'm on crutches, so I wouldn't be any use in the front row.
And that's gone straight down. And Old Wesley get the penalty, and you can see Josh Pym, he wants that ball back from Aaron Atkinson. And Tom Ryan getting involved as well.
The penalty could be brought up here.
And Stuart Douglas doing well to manage the situation.
I love to see a bit of bite in these games though, it just shows how much it means to the players.
Well, Old Wesley's home ground, Energia Park, only a stone's throw away.
It's a real Derby Day feel about this one. A real Derby Day feel.
So just outside the 22, it's Ben Burns to feed at line-out time. And rising high, says Pym, the try scorer. Murphy back on the inside, beautiful ball. And Fionn McWay has to clean up. Does a really good job. And Justin Leonard looking for touch. And he finds touch just outside the 22. Line out virtually in the same place, Kieran.
Ben Murphy looking very exciting now, isn't he? He's obviously really missed the game in the last few months and he's raring to go. Wesley look very composed though when they have ball in hand. They look like they know what they're doing and they have a plan. And as I say that, commentators curse at the line out.
John McKee, well, he's gained valuable meters in this game. Old Wesley going for the steal through Pym. And peeling away is O'Donovan. And here's JJOD. What a ball that was. Here we go. It's back to Faye, who's searching for a try. Old Belvedere from the side. And a penalty to Old Wesley. And they're looking really dangerous with the ball.
Is that
really
clinical?
threatening.
Is that cynical? Is it a yellow card offence? But it all started with Pim again. He's making a real nuisance of himself at the breakdown.
Stuart Douglas just calling Connor Wendy and Ian McGann, two players with so much experience. Connor Wendy's played over 55 times for Old Belvedere. Ian McGann, well, he started as a mini, as a 6-year-old, and Colin Hogan is going to the bin.
It was the only real call the referee could make in that situation. It was cynical, and I reckon that was always going to happen.
And a yellow card. Stuart Douglas taking no prisoners.
And he's not the type of player you want to lose this early in the game.
And you can see Cronin Gleeson, the loose head prop. He's game for the scrum. He loves his scrummaging.
He looks hungry, alright.
Ex-Munster under 18, under 19 and under 20s. Also got a few Irish club caps. And also played for the Connacht Eagles.
It's a very strong old Wesley forward pack though, and that's probably what makes Ben Murphy that confident, you know, that he's got a forward pack that he can kind of boss around and control.
Solid scrum from Wesley. Pim lays it back for Murphy, but we're going to have a reset. Stuart Douglas not satisfied.
Bit unlucky for old Wesley there.
See 13 in picture there. Jack Costigan having a word with his fullback.
It'll be interesting to see what they do here. Costigan and Deegan are both very exciting players, and they'll have a plan off this scrum.
On the far left wing, David Poff, try scorer in round 3 against Navan.
I always like these sort of scrums because these are the sort of areas of the pitch that they've been working on in training during the week, and they obviously have planned moves for.
Murphy feeds. Pim lays it back once more. Murphy, he snipes. Glorious try by Ben Murphy. And he's got game care on this little number 9. What a score.
Well, my eyes were fixated on the backline move, but Ben Murphy didn't need to spread out. He just went for it, did a little snipe and run. He's had some start to the game.
Exceptional stuff by the little halfback.
His dad Richie will be proud of that one if he's watching at home.
Well, Richie Murphy, well, he also coached and played for Old Belvedere. Cassidy, Dudley converts, and Old Wesley with a positive start. 12 points to 3 after 20 minutes.
I remember going to an over 35s game a few years ago, and Richie was playing for Clontarf, and he had these bright pink boots on, and he kicked 7 out of 7 that day. So Ben Murphy didn't lick it off a stone.
Old Belvedere, well, they're on the back foot here. Player in the bin, Colin Hogan.
The 2 times Old Wesley have been in the red zone though, they've converted and they've put points on the board. So really clinical by them.
And it's taken by Deegan. And he looks to clear. And he finds a decent touch finder. Not much of an angle to work with there.
Belvedere just need to steady the ship now.
JJ OD, the ex-Navan man.
A very mobile player is JJ OD. Throws himself around the park.
McKee to Darling. John McKee is at the back. And here comes the rolling maul once more from Old Belvedere. And McKee, he goes to the ground, and that's exceptional defence once more by Old Wesley, and it's been stolen, but then it goes forward. Old Belvedere a little bit lucky there.
Old Wesley are so hungry at the breakdown though. They're going for the ball every time, and it's causing Old Belvedere all sorts of problems.
And the big figure of Orion McMahon, the tight head prop.
One of the players I really enjoy coming to see every 2 weeks, Orion McMahon. He was a brilliant skills player for Clongowes in the Senior Cup 2 years ago. And he's continuing that form with Old Belvedere.
Also Fionn McWay, the open side flanker, the youngster. Packing down. So what can Old Belvedere conjure up here? And they give the penalty away, and that's got to be frustrating for Ray Monaghan, the coach of Old Belvedere.
The Old Wesley forwards have the advantage though. Old Belvedere seem to be struggling to live with them a little bit at the breakdown and at the scrum.
Cassidy, who can also play scrum off. Very versatile, and he's done a wonderful job for standing in for Josh Miller, who has been out since round 3.
They've also got Paddy McKenzie on the bench, who's a very good player. He was involved with the Leinster Youths, and he's a Wicklow Rugby Club man originally, but a very good player. Likes to play with the ball, and was a very good boxer as well.
Ben Burns. And up goes JJOD. Murphy lets it go. Here's Pim. Murphy. And David Butler with a remarkable steal. And here goes Ryan now. Crucial steal. Here's McKee to Moore, the veteran. Atkinson, Justin Leonard. And that's well taken by Old Wesley. O'Callaghan with the take. And here's Pim. And Murphy, well, he's really been a little general so far. And a try to boot as well. Ariel Robles under a lot of pressure, tackled by JJOD.
They're very good box kicks from Ben Murphy. Really putting pressure on the Old Belvedere back three.
Here's Darling. McKee in support. And here's Ryan. And it's been turned, Cassidy. And here's Robles, looking to have a go. And he skins Pim, but then he's met hard in the tackle by Faye. Here's Atkinson and Hugh Flood with the carry. Good tackle by McGann, the captain. Ryan to Darling in the outside channels. Paddy Darling with the break. He's beat 2 defenders. Look at him go. Gets the ball away to Ryan.
A Ryan Bard-esque run there from Paddy Dowling.
Gilheeney to McKee, who takes contact. Cassidy trying to hack it down the park. And Old Belvedere, they still have it. McKee tackled by Gleeson. McWay, Leonard with a dab ahead. And Gaston follows that into touch.
Smart kick from Leonard there. Playing Old Belvedere into the right areas of the pitch. There's a real battle going on at the break every time. And when Old Wesley are in attack, the speed of the ball and the service is just so quick. Old Belvedere can't even get to the ball. I don't know about you, Justin, but I'm really glad I have a big coat on today. It's freezing.
suppose one can't complain if it's not raining. A perfect day otherwise, other than the temperature. Murphy assembling the troops. It's Gleeson. He's tackled by Wendy and McKee, and McKee needs to roll away. And Murphy with the clearance. And potentially he's been the standout player, Kieran. He's had a fabulous opening 25 minutes.
I'd say more than potentially, he probably is the standout player of this half and this game so far. It's been really good. But he'll feel like he has a point to prove. He'll be desperately disappointed with not getting to play for the Ireland under-20s in the summer and missing the start of the season. So he really wants to prove a point. And especially because he's in the Leinster Academy, so he knows that he has to be one of the better players and he has to be impressing week in, week out to get his chance with Leinster.
Paddy Darling in picture there. He made that brilliant break, beating two defenders on the outside channel. And he actually had a lot of work to do there as well, Kieran.
Yeah, well, I said in commentary, it was like Ryan Bard's run last week against Argentina, very similar. Just kind of galloping his way.
2 tries this season for Paddy Darling. A try against City of Omagh away from home in round 2, and then a try away from home in round 4 against Shannon.
The scoreline is probably fair at this point. I think if you were to look at the last kind of 30 minutes, it's probably been Old Wesley who've been the better team. Old Belvedere have had their patches of good play, but yeah, Old Wesley have been the better team so far in my opinion.
And Old Wesley this season, they've scored, well, if you include these 2 tries now, they've scored 20 tries this season. They've only conceded 11. Old Belvedere have scored 15 and they've conceded 16. So that paints the picture of where both these teams are on the table. Old Wesley in second place, Old Belvedere in 7th. And Old Belvedere, well, they really need to win this game. They're 9 points down. But Old Wesley also need to win this game. It's line-out time. Old Belvedere with the take. And they're approaching the 22. And they've managed to gain some very good meters off the Rothing Mall in this fixture. But they need to capitalise. It's Atkinson to Justin Leonard, who lets it go. Beautiful play. Here's Colm Hogan, who's back on the park. He'll be difficult to stop. Colm Hogan for his 2nd try in the season. The fullback strikes.
Back with a bang. What a score. Well, we were talking about that at the start of the game, that the Old Belvedere back 3 was where it was at and where it's most exciting for them. So what a score. Game on.
So Colm Hogan, ex-Irish under-20 in 2017, 2 caps for the Irish clubs. He's also scored a try for the Irish clubs against Scotland clubs at the beginning of 2020, and he showed a great turn of pace there, Kieran.
Brilliant. Important kick, this one.
And then just the 3rd team score coming in, Lansdowne 8, Old Wesley 16. So a very good victory there for Old Wesley, as Justin Leonard looks to make it a 2-point ball game. And beautiful kick for Justin Leonard.
Justin, you were talking about there the amount of tries Old Belvedere have conceded this season and how many they've got. I suppose that tells its own story about their inconsistency a little bit. They can score tries, but they also concede a lot. So they'll be hoping to fix that and get a win today. But they've already conceded 2 tries.
Tapped back by Old Wesley. It's McGann who lays it back. Murphy looks left and looks right, and he feeds Gleeson, the big loose head prop. Murphy, Cassidy to OD. And OD, the lanky lock forward over the advantage line. John McKee looks in trouble. Cassidy And he's not sure what to do with it, so he kicks it to Wacko Keating, the right winger. Atkinson, and here's McWay. 12 points to 10, Old Wesley in front. It's Leonard who goes for the spiral. And some work to do here. For Connor Gaston. And under pressure, and he doesn't find many meters. And the momentum might shift here, Kieran.
Really good kick from Justin Leonard though. Really putting Old Wesley under pressure. And exactly what Old Belvedere needed. Because they need to stay focused now and try and get another score. And don't let Old Wesley get another score, because then they'll extend their lead again. Consistency is key for both sets of teams.
Flood communicating with McKee. Stuart Douglas just communicating with Old Wesley. He wants a good line out. And Wendy taps it back, so it's not clean ball. Here's Ryan. McKee, pop pass to McWay. Here's Hugh Flood popping up at first receiver. And it's got to really be frustrating for Old Belvedere. Old Wesley will be delighted with that penalty.
Yeah, poor decision making there and not what they needed. But for Old Wesley, as you said, they'll be delighted because Old Belvedere looked like they were on the front foot there a bit. But yeah, now Old Wesley have the ball back and they can get a touch finder.
David Butler, did that go forward? It's play on. And here come the handbags and the neighbours having a go at each other. Connor Wendy is right in the middle.
Let's get ready to rumble.
McGann as well, the two skippers. Enemies on the field, friends off it. And Stuart Douglas just giving the call to Connor Wendy, telling him to get back.
Connor Wendy loves it though. He loves being a little bit of a wind-up merchant. He enjoys it. You can see it out there. Just trying to get under the skin of the Old Wesley players a bit.
But also it's a serious game, Kieran, for both these sides. Both teams need wins. Old Wesley to stay in second place, to make sure they stay in second place. Otherwise, if St. Mary's win, St. Mary's will become second. And Old Belvedere, just from a confidence perspective, they don't want to lose 4 on the bounce. Heading up towards Christmas as well.
It's a weird one. You try and think who needs to win more, but the reality of it is they both really need to win. Four defeats on the bounce isn't ideal for a club like Old Belvedere. It's not where they would want to be. But for Old Wesley, they're pushing and thinking about promotion already. So they need to win and bounce back. And Old Belvedere have home advantage here, so they really need to try and win their home games.
Oh, here comes big trouble. There's a red card. No, a yellow card coming out for John McKee. Imagine if it was red, Kieran.
Well, I was kind of looking there. He was kind of shuffling around. I wasn't sure what was going to come out. That's not a player Old Belvedere would like to be losing. John McKee, he always is really good with the ball, really solid in the line out and in the ball. Probably one of the worst players Old Belvedere can lose.
Well, Old Belvedere, they're going to have to bring on Joe Horan then. He's also a very good hooker. But this is costly now for Old Belvedere. They've had 2 players in the bin. And that can really be taxing on a side. And they'll feel that in the second half.
Yeah, Old Belvedere were the ones to pay the price there, but I think there was a bit coming from both ends, so...
Ian Cassidy, he won the Division 2A Player of the Year in 2014-2015, a former club captain as well, so a lot of experience. They've got a lot of titans in the side, Old Wesley, and a good mixture of youth and experience.
That's what a good team needs, Justin. They need a bit of both to be able to build for the future and be competitive.
So Ben Burns, the ex-UCC man, and OD with a lovely line out. Pim to Burns to Murphy and Deegan hitting at the line at pace. Cassidy and Costigan with the carry. And here's a big Rob. He's tackled by his opposite McMahon. Murphy, Cassidy, and here's Josh Pim. And Gilheaney trying to make the tackle. Murphy to Rob O'Donovan. Crucial time here for Old Wesley. It's Gleeson. Can they capitalise with a player up? Murphy, Cassidy, Deegan. Beautiful play and a beautiful tackle as well by Jack Keating. Here's Burns, the hooker. Rob O'Donovan once more. He's been industrious, the tight head prop. Murphy to Cassidy. Skip ball to JJ O'D. And beautiful play. He can be very elusive, but he finds touch. And you can see he's very frustrated with himself there, Kieran. Initially did really well to fend off Colin Hogan.
Yeah, but Old Belvedere were very comfortable in defence there. They looked a lot better set up. At first, Old Wesley got the speed of the ball and they looked very dangerous again. Ben Murphy was just whipping it out. But yeah, good defensive set there from Old Belvedere. But Old Wesley are in the right area of the pitch and they'll be hoping they can stay here now.
And here comes Joe Horan to sort out the line out because John McKee is in the naughty chair. And he's got a lot of experience. Joe Horan won the Leinster School Senior Cup as Blackrock captain, also ex-Trinity. And up goes Darling. And Old Belvedere looking to gain some meters and just relieve a little bit of pressure. And Justin Leonard with the switch pass. This could be big trouble. Hacked ahead by Faye. This is danger. 101 now. As they go wide, surely it's got to be a score for Old Wesley. Gleeson. And it's a falcon, and perhaps a falcon of luck for Old Belvedere. They were at 6s and 7s there. How did they get away with that? And these are those key moments, only about 2 minutes until the halftime oranges. And if Old Belvedere can survive this, Justin Leonard looking to do a Roman Intermuck, but it's unsuccessful.
You were right, that was a stroke of luck for Old Belvedere, and Justin Leonard had the perfect opportunity just to get rid of it, but as you said, he must have been watching Roman Intermac last week and he fancied to go, but it didn't really work out for him.
I think, Kieran, you just wonder what Roman Intermac has done to many players who try to emulate him around the world, especially at school level. You're going to see players running from their own goal line, which is great to see actually as well. From time to time.
It's great to see if it pays off, but some coaches probably won't like to see it if it doesn't pay off like that one.
Well, they've really got to try and survive, and they've got to keep their eye out on Ben Murphy, who scored off the scrum near the beginning of this half.
Ben Murphy and Deegan and Costigan
And Old Belvedere, well, that's got to be very satisfying for the Old Belvedere pack. They're under the pump. Ray Monaghan will be delighted with that as we go into half time. Just about 40 seconds remaining on the stadium clock, but on our clock there's 2 minutes remaining, so who knows how long we've got left.
These are big moments in games though. Like if Old Wesley had scored there, they could have really pushed on, and Old Belvedere got a penalty there, so they can get out of danger and they can refocus and rechannel. These games never disappoint, do they, Justin?
Always tight. And if you think of both these teams, they've had so many tight encounters this season. Joe Horan to Darling. A few of the spectators complaining that it wasn't straight. And Old Wesley, well, they might get a final roll of the dice here before half time.
Yeah, there was a few roars from the Old Wesley faithful up here. They were saying the ball wasn't thrown in straight.
And if Old Belvedere can hang on to this 2-point deficit, they might be pretty pleased with how the half's gone, considering that they've had two players in the bin in the form of Colin Hogan, the fullback, who came on and scored a try after being in the bin, and also John McKee. But anything can happen now at the scrum.
If they can hold Old Wesley out, they'll be the happier of the two teams. Even though they're 2 points down, they'll be the happier going into half-time, considering what's happening.
Murphy, and yes, Deegan, who's really looked dangerous, carries well. He's a handful. Ruben Pim, the try scorer. Murphy, Cassidy with the show and go. And Old Belvedere surviving yet again. And that is half time. Old Wesley 12, Old Belvedere 10. Thoughts, Kieran?
That was a bit of a 50-50 from Cassidy there. If it paid off, it would have been great, but there was always that risk. Really interesting half, really good half, and I think Old Belvedere will probably be the happier heading into half-time, considering they've had two lads in the bin. Old Wesley have dominated possession for the most part, so yeah, they'll probably be the happier, but at the same time Old Wesley are ahead in the scoreboard, and that's all that really matters.
Tries for Old Wesley from Ben Murphy and Ruben Pim, and then Old Belvedere hit back with a Colin Hogan try, showing a good turn of pace. Don't go anywhere. A big second 40 minutes coming to you soon.
Ladies and gentlemen, we hope you're enjoying the stream here today, and remember, if you want to contribute to these free streams, A great way you can help out is buying a Your Country, Your Club, Your Country ticket. The draw will take place next week. Tickets are on sale up until next Wednesday. Remember, it is €10 for a ticket. All proceeds go towards your rugby club. So whether you're an old Belvo fan or an old Wesley fan, you can buy a ticket today. And if you want to thank us for today's stream, a great way to do that is go to oldwesley.ie, click on the Your Club, Your Country banner and buy a €10 ticket online today. Some amazing prizes donated by the RFU and their sponsors. You can follow Ireland on their tour to New Zealand this summer as the main prize, but some other great prizes to follow. We'll be back with the second half shortly, and just a message from the Irish Rugby Players Union.
And Lansdowne, Gary on, you can check that out.
Obviously throughout the years I've gone through a lot of ups and downs. I was struggling with an injury in Connacht. It was my third shoulder surgery. I think you always kind of remember that lowest part of your career, and that was probably the lowest part of mine. I just remember being with Owen Masterson, a guy who struggled with a very bad knee injury, and we were doing fitness and it was lashing rain. I remember him saying, this is the hard part, when you're mentally struggling and you've no certainty with what's going on. I had set a goal that summer to go on that tour with Ireland. I was probably a million miles away from it, and I don't think anyone probably would have thought it was possible. The counsellor I saw, it was actually a brilliant idea she gave me, was to train as if. So train as if I was an Irish international well before I was. If you have the ability to kind of see where you can get to and see yourself being back fit and playing games and enjoying yourself, I think it's hugely important. Yeah, for me to get back that summer then and then make that Irish tour and get my first cap was definitely my proudest moment. I think it goes back to that. It's how you react to the circumstances and you improve yourself. It's kind of a chance for you to grow, and my last one was growing mentally, and it's probably something that earlier in my career probably would have been one of my weaknesses, and now I'd say it's probably one of my main strengths. Yeah, I think it's a journey, and I'm grateful for it, and if I had to go back, I'd probably do it all again. I'm John Cooney, and I'm taking control.
So Old Wesley 12, Old Belvedere 10. Very important 40 minutes coming up here for both these two teams. And a shout out to Doug Somerville, an Old Belvedere supporter watching in Glasgow. And we have 6 minutes left of the yellow card. John McKee in the bin, very key player. Old Belvedere have had to bring on Joe Horan to sort out the scrum and the line-out in his absence. And Kieran, thoughts as we approach the second half?
Well, that's 14 minutes with 14 men in the first half for Old Belvedere. So they've done okay to only be 2 points behind, but there was some really good play from Old Wesley in that last half, especially from the general, Ben Murphy.
Ian Cassidy and Wacko Keating. Atkinson finds McWay. Atkinson just taking his time. He had a lot of pressure on him over there. And Gaston took it well. And Murphy to Faye, and yes, Gleason trying to get the offload away. He's got great soft skills, the loose head prop. Cassidy, there's space on the left here, they're lining up. It's Pim. Gets it to Gaston. Beautiful play. This is glorious rugby. What a score for Highfield. In the corner is David Poff. Old Wesley rugby at its glorious best, Kieran.
I think you call it champagne rugby, Justin, is one of your favourite lines. Brilliant start for Old Wesley. And you won't see much tries better than that.
Well, they were lining there. Well, they were lining up there as well, Kieran. It almost looked as if they had thousands of players out on the left. And some incredible play by Josh Pym.
Oh, Josh Pym's been excellent at the breakdown with ball in hand. What can't he do?
Oh, the perfect way to start the second half.
I'd love to know what the coach said to them at half time.
Cassidy. And he can't convert, so it's still a 7-point ball game. Old Wesley 17, Old Belvedere 10. And what a try that was by David Poff, who scores his second try of the season. John McKee is back on the park for Old Belvedere.
Yeah, Old Belvedere really need him back. They'll be disappointed to have conceded in that time period, but look, it's only 7 points. It's still a one-score game, so that's the way they have to look at it. For Old Wesley, they'll be hoping to push on now.
Poff, the try scorer, gives it to Murphy, who hoofs it down the field. It's a tester for Ryan, who finds Colin Hogan, and he'll search for a line break. The fullback. Atkinson to John McKee. He pops it to Paddy Darling. Atkinson to Joe Horan. Yes, McKee again. And Old Belvedere get a penalty. Not releasing is Will Fay. And this is within Justin Lennon's distance.
John McKee really getting back into the mix of it there. So a couple of involvements.
Colin Hogan. And he finds Jack Keating, who's setting off. And Pym lays it back, and under pressure was Gaston. And it's kind of worked out for Old Belvedere. Some good play there. Courageous.
Quick thinking, just play. And Old Belvedere with their eyes up there, they just wanted to play with the ball. Brilliant, and look where they are now. Only a couple of minutes after conceding a try straight away and after half time. Things can change quickly in these AIL games, Justin.
Old Wesley, well, they've scored quite a lot of tries this season. That was their 21st try of 2021-2022 Division 1B.
That's an average of 3 tries a game. If we're on game 7 now, so that's an average of 3 tries a game, which is really impressive.
And they'll be searching for that bonus point as well. But still, it's about getting the win for Old Wesley.
The win comes first and the bonus point comes second.
And especially if St. Mary's get a victory and Old Wesley lose here today, St. Mary's will go up to second. And remember, they didn't struggle at the start of the season. They played Old Wesley and Highfield and came away with narrow losses. So a very good team as well.
Sometimes the way the fixture planner comes out for some teams, it doesn't really suit them and it can be a tough start, and I think that's what happened to St. Mary's. They had a very tough start playing Old Wesley and Highfield, probably the 2 best teams in the division on paper, but Mary's have really came back strong now, and look where they are, pushing for second place.
solid. Gilheeney goes route one. Atkinson to John McKee yet again, yet another carry. And that's a bit of a mess from Old Belvedere. Old Wesley get the penalty. And again, Kieran, it's just that execution. And Stuart Douglas is pulling aside Wolfay. And Ian McGann as well. And some retaliation of some sort. And the game can really turn like that. That can be a momentum changer, Kieran.
Yeah, I just wonder, was there a bit of back chat there that the ref didn't like? And sometimes it's better just to keep zipped and keep the ref happy.
So Leonard, easy as you like. Old Wesley 17, Old Belvedere 10. It's a 4-point ball game out here at Ollie Campbell Park.
I'm looking at the results at half time here, Justin, in the 1B League. City of Armagh 20-0 up against Malone. Highfield 21-5 up against Banbridge. That'll be 7 out of 7 for them if they can win. Shannon, the surprising one for me is Shannon are losing 10-29 at home to Naas. That's a bit of a shock. And St Mary's are winning 21-14 at home against Navan.
Ryan also had a lot of carries. Atkinson to McWay. Justin Leonard, they're looking to play. Here's Butler, David Butler. Really good line break from the outside centre. Leonard to Cho Horan with a good angle. It's Leonard to Gilheeney and Tom Ryan. Really good defence by Old Wesley to stop a little bit of the Old Belvedere momentum. Here's Uflad. Leonard goes for the educated boots. Gaston looks to find some space, and it's marshalled by Justin Leonard. And that's not out, so it's play on. And here's Burns, the hooker, looking to set off. Murphy, here's OD. Cassidy, Costigan, and he's coughed it up.
Really good line speed there from Old Belvedere in that last passage of play. That the initial break from Old Belvedere, which happened quite some time ago now, Ariel Robbins was mad to get the ball. He was really looking for the pass. I was hoping he was going to get it because he's dangerous when he has the ball, so I was kind of hoping it was going to go to him, but it didn't on that occasion.
But the back three of Old Belvedere are very dangerous as well. It's about getting the ball to them, and they also got James McKeown on the bench, who has scored 5 tries this season. A try in each game from round 2. And he is a lean, mean try-scoring machine, and when he comes onto the park, you'll fancy it. He just needs one chance. So it'll be interesting to see how Old Belvedere do deploy their bench.
From broken play, Old Belvedere's back three are very, very dangerous. All they need is a window of opportunity and they'll take it. Just a little bit of the zip gone out of the game now, just a little pause, players catching their breath.
And here comes a shove by Old Wesley. Gleason is going up, and Atkinson has to do some dog work, and my goodness, he's actually done a very good job, the little halfback. Here's McKee, pops it to McMahon. He's tackled by Gleason and JJOD. Gilheany, Leonard, Ariel Robles, looking to break through the tackle. He gets the offload away. And that's a pity for Old Belvedere. Looking threatening. Murphy, Cassidy, so composed. And here's a chance for Jack Keating, but he makes a shambles of it. And those are big moments, Kieran. Little moments like that can go a long way in this fixture.
Old Wesley's defence rocking Old Belvedere a bit. Ariel Robles loves that line. He's done it a few times in different games this season. But yeah, a kick causes problems for Old Belvedere, and look where Old Wesley are now on the pitch. Old Belvedere needs to try and convert these chances, but for Old Wesley, they'll be happy enough. There's not much of a difference between any of these teams. We talk about it every week, pretty much, me and you, Justin, that there's no real big gap between the likes of Old Wesley and Old Belvedere. The table might suggest that there is, but there actually isn't.
Really good scrum. Murphy lets it go. And then an error, an uncharacteristic error, and that's a big let off for Old Belvedere. When Old Wesley have had opportunities, they've taken them and they've scored 3 tries.
Maybe they rushed that last play there a bit, forcing it a tiny bit. Now Old Belvedere have possession back. But this game's shaping up nicely. It could be a very interesting last 20 minutes.
Just 4 points in the game. And just remarkable to think, in the last 5 AIL games between these sides, there's been 2 wins by Wesley, 1 by Old Belvedere, and 2 draws as well. So 2 draws in the last 5 games. Wesley scoring 93 points, Old Belvedere scoring 86, just 7 points the difference. And it's not just this fixture, or not just this rivalry. A lot of rivalries in the AIL have similar statistics. So that's gone down, and we will have a reset.
That's what makes it so good though, Justin. Would you agree that you can never really tell when you go to these games what's going to happen? Obviously you have your picks and you have your predictions, but you can never really tell. Anything can happen in the game of AIL.
And given the start as well in the first 20 minutes when Old Wesley really cashed in, you might have been forgiven for thinking that Old Wesley are just going to run away with this game. And it's crazy to think that Old Belvedere had 2 yellow cards in that first half. And I mean, we've a 4-point ball game here. Old Wesley do look the better side, but there's still so much time left in this game for a twist in the tail.
Absolutely. Old Belvedere always are hanging in and around there, and they're never quite out.
Here's Justin Leonard. Here's Butler again, looking to make another line break. And he was tackled by the inside centre Owen Deegan. Here's Moore now, the Wiseman. Intercepts. Oh my goodness. Ben Murphy, and that is vintage Ben Murphy, and he gets his 2nd try of the game. A standout performer, and that is a huge point in the game, Kieran.
Old Belvedere would be devastated by that, but actually it was JJOD who held the ball up there that kind of made Old Belvedere think, and maybe they rushed it without looking, and Ben Murphy, a little snipe, and he got himself in the passing channel. He gets the ball and there's no catching him when he gets going.
And Kieran, Old Wesley, well, no matter what happens in this game now, they've scored 4 tries, they've got a point. And if they can get a win, it'll be a valuable 5 points to just keep the pressure on Highfield. There's still so much time left in this game, but Old Belvedere, they're going to really need some luck now in this fixture.
Absolutely. But also, Justin, it's all about finishing in the top 4. It doesn't really matter where you finish in the top 4. As long as you're in the top 4 come the end of the season, that's all that really matters for the likes of Old Wesley and Highfield.
Ian Cassidy, and despite that kick, he's also had a very strong game.
Yeah,
He's
but
orchestrated really well.
him and Ben Murphy, very well matched. You know, they're a good team, good little duo. They've been very good. I know JJOD has been brilliant as well, and Pim has been brilliant.
So it's a 9-point ball game. Justin Leonard and Cassidy, he fronts up, and there's an overlap here. This could be big trouble. It's Faye. What a pass that is. Here's O'Callaghan. Scored a double in round 4 against Nace. And here's Faye. That's inspirational from Faye. The number 6, he's still going. Incredible stuff to Josh Pym. Old Wesley, as if they're growing extra arms and legs, they spin it out. Through O'Donovan, this is Gleeson. This is absolutely brilliant from Old Wesley. Looking for their 5th try, and it's hacked away. And a huge sigh of relief there for Old Belvedere, but that was amazing to watch. That was exceptional play by Wolfay.
Ah, brilliant. It looked like David Butler had regained possession for Old Belvedere there, but then Wesley broke down the pitch, really high speed, looking very dangerous. And they're really upping the temperature now.
Tom Ryan was just on in back play. Good to see that he's getting up.
I feel like there's been a bit of a lapse in concentration from Old Belvedere in the last 5 or 6 minutes.
And Ruben Pym, Josh Pym, and Alistair Hoban, and Sam Pym. 4 players in the starting 21 today, all related. Ruben and Sam are brothers. I won't explain the rest of the relation.
Very talented brothers at that too, Justin.
Almost the tight head. And Old Belvedere, well, they're still pretty much in this contest, but you get the feeling that they really need to score next.
Yeah, absolutely. But they can score next. You know, they're a very resilient team and they won't be giving up. But they have to keep their concentration.
And Conor Wendy back on the park for Dean Moore.
The best teams can really turn it on when it matters, and Old Wesley are proving that so far.
Paddy Darling with the take. It's Justin Leonard, and it's looking good for Ryan, but he's under big pressure here. Old Wesley trying to get over the ball through Pym. Here's McKee, really a ferocious carrier, and Old Wesley again targeting the breakdown points. Here's Flood. Some good footwork by the prop. Justin Leonard with a remarkable offload to Tom Ryan. But he needs support, he's isolated. And as a result, Old Wesley get the penalty. They've been very impressive at breakdown.
That's an area of the game they've really dominated. Leonard got his hands free there and was able to get the lovely offload off. But yeah, Old Wesley have been a real menace at the breakdown today. And there's another penalty in that area.
Colin Hogan, he's got an opportunity here. He had players with him, but he decides to take contact. And Old Wesley, well, that's another big penalty. It's a huge penalty. And you can see they're very pumped about it as well, Old Wesley. really celebrating those moments.
Well, you have to. They're big wins in the game. Colin Hogan was kind of stuck in two minds there as to what to do, and he went into the contact, which probably wasn't the right decision.
And Sam Pym and Alistair Hoban, they're about to come onto the park. Alistair Hoban, or Sam Pym, sorry, he played for the University of Queensland in Australia, also played in Hong Kong, and a son of former club captain Chris. And they've really got good depth. Old Wesley. And just some depth, that's really going to play a part. It's already playing a part in the season, but you get the feeling that after Christmas, that's when it's really going to start to test teams.
The reality is there's a lot of injuries in rugby nowadays, and squad depth is really important.
JJOD with a good take, and here comes the rolling more. It's Ben Burns at the back. Burns for the score. Try number 5 for Old Wesley. It's been an impressive display.
Try at the set piece. That'll really. The forwards coach will be really happy with that, and yeah, it's the icing on the cake really for them.
Well, Ben Burns, he scored 5 tries in the 2019-2020 season. He was also Senior Player of the Year that year, and he eventually gets a try this year. Paddy McKenzie is on the park, and he will take the conversion. The ex-Wicklow Rugby Football Club player.
Ben Murphy gone off there. Brilliant performance by him. Getting plenty of pats in the back. Deservedly so.
Mackenzie, and you'll be disappointed with that. That's definitely not his best kick. To the right, but at the moment, well, that kick actually does matter because Old Belvedere can score 2 converted tries and we'll come away with 3 draws in their past 6 games if that happens. We've seen stranger things, but you get the feeling this is a long way back now for Old Belvedere, and they're staring down yet a 4th loss in a row.
In reality, Old Wesley should really see the game out from this stage, but again, never say never.
Cassidy. And he's really looks so relaxed. And look at that kick as well. Up towards halfway. Charlie O'Regan, the experienced scrum off, is also on the park now. Ex-UCC player, ex-Munster under 18, under 19 and under 20.
It's been a very complete performance by Old Wesley though. Gant Maltroy shows the power of their forward pack. At the breakdown they've been very good. In the back line they've been excellent as well, led by the general Ben Murphy.
Darling, Atkinson, Whittle, here's Tom Ryan now. And he hasn't stopped the big number 8, it's McKee. And he's tackled by Pym. Atkinson works the short side to Tommy Whittle and Colin Hogan. And Conor Wendy, and a little bit of indecisiveness now creeping into the game, a little bit of uncertainty.
I think their confidence has dropped a bit and they're a little bit rattled. Old Wesley have got to them, and it'll be very hard for them to find a way back from here.
So, Old Wesley, so far one of their standout performances of the season, if not their best performance of the season. And there's still 15 minutes to go.
exactly what the doctor ordered after that defeat against Highfield. And what a scrum. Old Wesley are here to make a Saturday statement, I think.
Massive scrum by Old Wesley, and don't forget to like and subscribe the Old Wesley page. It's great to see Old Wesley and a lot of these clubs like Old Belvedere streaming these AIL games and bringing the game to the people. And the Old Wesley team doing a fantastic job here in streaming this game.
Oh, but it's great for the game. There is going to be people that are still a bit conscious of COVID and a bit worried, so to provide this service to them is great.
And Ben Burns. And always the set piece has been good. And that one was a bit wonky, malfunctioning. It seemed to be a skew throw first, so it's an Old Belvedere put in. And this is where it's a strange position, Kieran, because you're 14 points down. There's 14 minutes left to go. You've got a scrum in your own 22. Do you just win the scrum and just kick and hope? Or do you just go with a little bit of a roll of the dice and try, now or never?
Depends where your head's at.
So Stuart Douglas, well, he's done a really good job of managing this game, and he's given the cards when he's had to give the cards, but also considering the neighbourhood rivalry, it's a difficult game to ref, and also just considering where both these teams are at in the season, both sides needing a victory desperately for different reasons, and that can often mean that it's really difficult to ref.
Well, a lot of the times we highlight how good the AIL is and how good the games are, but the refereeing standards is very good for the most part as well.
And Stuart Douglas not satisfied again, so we'll have another reset. And not long to go in this fixture. Old Wesley, well, they've already got 5 points.
I get the sense they're enjoying it now as well. They're a bit relaxed. I'd say they're all very excited to get into the nice warm clubhouse now.
Atkinson feeds, and that's gone down yet again, and Old Wesley get the penalty. And it'll be interesting to see how ruthless Old Wesley can be. Are they just going to relax for the last 11 minutes? Morgan Lennon, the coach of Old Wesley, is looking really relaxed on the sideline. And also, a very impressive performance. Also sometimes, coming off a loss against Highfield, it's almost that moment that you wait for in the season, try to get a win against Highfield. Didn't get the win. Disappointing result. But now they put that behind them, and they know that they also have the home game against Highfield to come after Christmas. Line out time. Ben Burns. And it's another shambles.
A bit too relaxed. That's what you have to do though, Justin, after a loss like that. You can't let it affect you going into your next few games. You just have to move on and focus on the next game and focus on getting the next win. The only positive for Old Belvedere is I can't see it getting much harder than it has been for them in the last 4 games. They've played 4 very good teams, and I reckon it might get a little bit easier for them, but where's their confidence going to be at after this game?
It's another big shove, a big surge, and a potential tight head as well. And just a penalty.
Take the scrum now, take the scrum.
Calls for take the scrum. And that can't be a comfortable feeling as well, Kieran, getting scrummed on your home turf against your neighbours. Old Wesley with the ball.
They're going to have to do some soul searching after this game, I think, Old Belvedere, and they'll need to try and get their confidence back up for the next game next week. For Old Wesley, they'll be really happy, and they'll just want to steamroll ahead on now into the rest of the season.
Ruben Pym, the number 8, he's also been really good today. The entire Wesley team has been good. 5 points away from home, extremely valuable.
They never lost the lead as well.
Old Belvedere coming up next week, and they've got Navan at home, and then they've got Banbridge, and then it's the bye over the Christmas period. We only return on the 15th of January 2022. And Wesley, they've got Banbridge at home, and then they've got a tricky one, a potential banana skin against City of Omar on the 11th of December before the break. So some vital games coming up before Christmas.
Come on, drive it! Drive!
Impressive,
Drive it!
ruthless. Charlie O'Regan, the veteran, gets the job done. Yet another try.
A trio of tries from the scrum halves.
Yeah, it's a day for the scrum halves, Kieran.
Yeah.
It really is. And that's also amazing. Ben Murphy, such a quality scrum half, and you're able to bring on Charlie O'Regan. He's got so much experience.
It seems a long time ago now since that 12-10 at half time.
And Old Belvedere, well, they've got to just see if they can do something in these last 7 minutes, just for the confidence levels, so they can take something positive out of the game. Their first half was really impressive, considering that they had 2 yellow cards and that slow start, and they hung in there. And Paddy McKenzie, he's going to try to be successful this time, and he kind of chucks it over and knocks it over. And Old Wesley, well, the scoreline says a lot.
And you can kind of see from the Old Belvedere players, they're a bit dejected looking, and they look very disappointed.
Tommy Woodall, McGann, the captain, and he's tackled by Ryan McMahon. And this is very courageous from Old Belvedere. They're still committed to the cause. And they get a turnover as well. Joe Horan, they're still fighting. They want their second try in this fixture. Here's McWay, looking for some positivity. It's Woodall to Justin Leonard. Beautiful ball to Keating, who sets off. Really beautiful pass. And Old Wesley, like absolute dogs at the breakdown. And it's been one of the key ingredients for them in this fixture. Cassidy just so relaxed yet again. And Justin Lennon, well, he's got to have a crack. Takes contact with the dummy. Tom Ryan. And McCann. Here's Horan now, runs into O'Callaghan. Owendi, the skipper. Byrne, the replacement hooker, trying to get the steal. Here's McKee, but he meets a wall of Old Wesley defence. Colin Hogan, lovely pop to Joe Horan, who's had a few good carries. Atkinson, and it's been charged down. And O'Regan so casually with the pop pass. O'Regan with the skip ball to O'D, fends off O'Wendy with ease. JJ O'D still going. Still going.
Now move it!
It's as if Old Wesley don't want this game to end. They're really enjoying themselves out here at Ollie Campbell Park. O'Regan yet again. Here's Pim. Terrific footwork by the big man. O'Regan. Almost getting the inside ball away. And just some beautiful rugby we've seen today. Kieran.
They were both very loose in that last passage of play. Maybe Old Belvedere have just thought now, oh look, we've lost the game, we may as well play a little. But again, from Old Wesley, they've been very impressive. And the shackles are off.
But also, Kieran, sometimes, you know, it's not always the best thing to just relax in the last 5 or 6 minutes, because you could also be on level points at the end of the season, and you kind of need that points difference to be in your favour. So we've seen it from Old Belvedere. They can score 2 tries in 3 minutes. They've done that against Highfield, and, you know, a result like that can really have a say later on in the season.
But also giving them a bit of confidence going into their next game.
So if you go back to the 2019-2020 season, Old Wesley, when the season was curtailed because of the pandemic, they were sitting in second place behind Highfield. Ironically, Highfield and Old Wesley are the top 2 in this season, but winning 10 out of 14 games in 2019-2020. Old Belvedere also in 7th position that season. They're in 7th position now, but that could be under threat. But maybe not, depending on how the other fixtures have gone. And that's a really good scrum from Old Belvedere, and you can see they've got a lot of fight and a lot of dog in them, Kieran. Not giving up.
Resilience is something they have in plenty, so.
So time running out now.
Old Wesley won't want to concede a late try, and Old Belvedere will want to get a late try for their pride and just for their confidence.
McWay with the take. And Old Wesley, well, they know what they're doing, but illegally so. So Old Belvedere, Tommy Whittle will kick for the corner again. Perhaps try to get the Rothing more going and get a score in that manner.
John McKee's always looking for the maul tries. I don't know about you, Justin, but that last half an hour has really gone quick. Like a lot has happened in the last 30 minutes.
A lot of tries.
Yeah.
McKee to Darling, Joe Horan. And McKee is at the back as well as Ryan McMahon. Here comes the score for Old Belvedere. Courageous, a lot of fight. Really good stuff. And John McKee scores his 4th try of the season. and he hasn't stopped at all this season. So many carries. He's been really effective in the rolling more. And Old Belvedere, just a lot of fights at the end of the game.
Look, let's be honest, they won't be happy with the overall result, but that's a try they can take home with them now, and they can build on that into training and into their game next week.
And Justin Leonard doesn't convert. 16 points the difference, and there is still time.
Will we see another try?
So Cassidy, he just looks like he's had a relaxful Saturday afternoon with the way he's played, and he has Jack Keating. He's had a few opportunities. Also had injury problems in the past year or so, but he's done well to get back. Whittle to Darling to Justin Leonard. A potential high tackle, but it's play on. Tom Ryan with the pick and go. Atkinson, Tommy Whittle to David Butler, cutting back.
Let it go!
Tom Ryan through the centre. Almost caught napping there, old Wesley. Oh, Wendy has to die for that one. Tommy Whittle, his opportunity here. A lovely little break by the out off. Pops it on the inside to Culligan. Hey, looking for a third try. And here's Ariel Robles to Connor Wendy. Charlie O'Regan, but we're going to come back.
Oh, come on.
And there would have been a classical off-back stuff. Would have been a second intercept try as well.
By another scrum half. A bonus point try for the scrum halves if that one had went in.
So this should be it. One
Justin,
final roll at the dice.
Justin, you were talking earlier about that Old Belvedere can score 2 tries in 3 minutes. I'm just wondering, did you put some money on that before the start of the game?
Not a gambling man. Don't need any extra adrenaline for match day. Kieran Culligan to Darling. And that might be that. Stuart Douglas blows the full-time whistle at Ollie Campbell Park. Old Wesley, the visitors, 34. Old Belvedere, 18. Some great tries by Old Wesley. An impressive performance away from home. Given the rivalry between both these sides, and given the 16-point difference, a very, very clinical display by Old Wesley. Old Belvedere did really well to get back into the game in the first half with those 2 yellow cards. They showed a lot of fight in the end. Kieran, thoughts?
Yeah, Old Wesley have shown why they're tipped to be one of the teams that could possibly go up to AIL 1A next season with that clinical performance. Look, it's been a very tough last 4 games for Old Belvedere, 4 defeats, but they have been playing 4 of the better teams in the division, so they need to rebuild now. But for Old Wesley, they just need to keep going the way they're going, and they'll continue to win and put points on the board.
Player of the match?
It only has to be one man, I think, Ben Murphy.
Thank you for joining us, everyone. Just remember to like and subscribe to the Old Wesley page. It's been a great afternoon of great rugby at Ollie Campbell Park. Thank you for joining us.